Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my GS500F and it's got a cold start problem. Every time I start it in the morning, it is a pain in the absolute butt. It keeps stalling, it splutters, the rev's high, and I'm at my end with it. The history of this bike is, like I said, it's a 2008. I bought it with a seized engine about 6 months ago. I replaced the engine, give it a good service, put it through an MOT, passed with no advisories, and ran it for at least 500 miles with this start problem. But now I feel like it probably needs a bit of a refurb on the carbs. My history is that I took a diploma in mechanics when I was 16, 17, going into college. I've been turning spanners ever since I was a young child, but my actual full time is that I'm a paramedic, so I'm extremely busy this time of the year. The bike's going to be put to bed at some point, so I would like to get the carbs refurbed before I do that, along with another oil and another filter change. So if you want to stick around, see what I do, by all means, carry on and we can get through this. But here's the introduction and then let's crack on. So my plan is I'm going to whip the seat off, I'm going to whip the tank off, disconnect the battery, expose the carbs as much as I can. I'm probably going to take the fairings off at some point just to make access a little bit easier to do the oil and filter change, and we'll go from there. I'm awaiting a rebuild kit, which should be here very shortly. I've got the filter and the oil ready to go, so we will potentially do that first. I'm not sure, depending on when the kit turns up. However, work calls, so sometimes I need to go off and actually work for a living rather than create videos. This is my first channel, this is my first video, so I am really happy for experienced mechanics and anybody that's been in the trade for such a long time to give me some constructive criticisms and comments. I'm really happy for that. So let's do this together. Let's do this together, and perhaps I can actually learn something as well and offer this video. It may be a good video, it may be a bad video, but there you go. Let's see what we can do. So a very quick rundown of the bike. It's in a fairly good condition for 2008. It's done about 34,000 miles, which says on the clock. However, the engine's done about 22,000 plus about the 500 that I've done. I've done a couple of charity runs, and to be fair, it's been absolutely flawless when it's nice and hot and it's running really well. It's just a cold start really that's been a bit of a pain. The issue is that it doesn't idle properly on cold start, as you probably see in the video. Sometimes if I'm messing about with the choke to try and actually get it running, it sometimes run very high and run low depending on what the choke position is, which is probably a standard thing. However, if I put it in the same position once, it could be a completely different idle. And for me, it's a fuel thing, isn't it? It's got something to do with the carburetors. So I think it probably needs a really good overhaul and a look at. So that's what we are going to do. Okay, so I've released 2 bolts. I've undone the 2 fuel pipes. I've turned off the petcock valve. It's quite awkward to film. It's one of those things that you'll need to research if you want to take it off. And the tank should just come straight off. And just for a second, I will put that down. Unfortunately, it's got a lot of fuel in it. Righty ho. So we've got the tank off, got the seat off. I took the battery out, mainly because it probably needs charging. So we're going to pop the air filter box out now. For which I've left my screwdrivers over here, but I'll have a slurp of tea first. Beautiful. So, get this breather pipe off. Slide that one down there. Bring that one off a bit. And then just to pop off the air filter box, I believe it's just a couple of little 10mm bolts. Sorry. Could use my driver for this, but what's the point really? That bolt's fine because it's already attached, so the airbox should just take a couple of little Allen keys. It's freezing down here on the 2nd of January. So I'm just undoing the two collars that attach the airbox to the carb. Should make life easier for me to get it off. And don't forget the breather tube, which is can be safely disconnected. So one breather box off, air filter box, lovely jubbly. Okay, now we've got this. Lots of little pipes that we need to know where they're going. And just to reiterate, I am not a professional mechanic, so I need to take my time with these sort of things, and I'm sure many people do. Okay, so after a lot of fart-arsing around, I've actually managed to get it out, as you can see. Cut my finger. Hey, anybody know a paramedic? So, I have got one carburetor out. And as this is a couple of weeks later, like I said earlier, I've also got my rebuild kits. 2 sets, jets, seals, screws, all sorts of guff really. We'll figure it out in the end anyway. Okie dokie. And I've also got new oil filter that's turned up, which I can do afterwards. And I'm probably going to have to order a solenoid, because it seems to start with no ignition at the moment, which is amazing. If bike thief knew about it. Yeah. Anyway, let's crack it. Cool. Okay, just for my own sanity, I have actually done one side, because I'd be pulling my air out, not doing much, working, more like thinking. So I thought I would do one side first. So I've popped the 4 screws off of here to expose the jets. Haven't done any of the top yet. Might have a look at that in a minute. And the float, I've just undone the float quickly just to make sure there was no rubbishy screws. I've got the float valve as well, which I'm going to replace. Hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing. Let me just pull it out a bit. So bag number 2, please. Cool. Excuse me, my filming isn't exactly brilliant. Right, so firstly, I am going to very quickly whip off this screw that was holding the float valve in, because I didn't want to lose it. This stuff is all used in here. No, that's the new one, that's the old one. So I'll replace that in a minute. And this one looks like it's been messed about with before. I was lucky. So don't really know what any of these jets are called. You've got a main jet, I think you've got a pilot jet, and I don't know, the Harrier jump jet, I think, I don't know. But we'll, as long as we replace it like for like, can't be much of an issue, can there? Did take the mixture screws out. I don't seem to have the mixture screws in the packet, and if I do, these are the ones, but they seem a little bit too long. I'll show you in a second. But firstly, I need to get this little bugger out, which was the pain and vein of my life just now. But it doesn't matter if this gets damaged, because I've got a new one. And there it is. And as you can see, if you can see that, the washers are pretty crud, aren't they? Pretty crap, to be fair. They're all scubbed up. So I'm just going to replace the whole lot. Right, so it transpires that my video got lost, or I pushed a button, or something went wrong, or I just completely cocked up, but I lost the fact that I have just changed these 3 jets. Fairly simple. They unscrew, seal that one, these 2 just unscrew, and they just get replaced. Lovely. Now I can get on with the float valve, which is pretty much the last thing to do in here. So I have a new float valve to go in here. That just sits inside the little glass jet and fits lovely on top of there. And then get the demon screws. Just put that one back in, which is going to hold it all in. Lovely jubbly. Just going to give all this a quick wipe out. It looks fairly clean, to be fair, but I'm going to give it a wipe anyway. Bit of housekeeping, you know. I'm just going to try and get this little seal out that's going to be replaced, which when I did it just now on the last one was a complete and utter ball ache because it kept slipping off. However, and there you go. So it caps back on. So I'm going to try and put these in a fairly uniform way. Right, so I guess that kind of concludes the bottom of the carburetor. We'll have a switch to the top. See what we can see in here. Probably need to change that one out, don't we? So I've obviously never opened these before, so I think the diaphragm's in here, along with a needle jet. Ooh. Bloody thing keeps dropping. Big one. Oh, we just want to do all of it now, haven't we? Get them all done. Let's see what we got here. No idea. Springs, I think. Doing. Couple of little Zebedees, look. I don't really know if I want to cock about with any of that, so I'm not going to. Okay, so I've just popped off the top of the carburetors and exposed the little diaphragms. Let's have a very quick look. Be dead careful not to break these. I'm just going to do one at a time. I believe some screw, not sure. they just pop off. No, just pops off. There you go. Just going to be dead careful here because I don't want to end up losing any bits. So I'm not going to mess with any of this because, oh yeah, because quite frankly I don't want to. They don't seem to be giving me the right. Morning guys, how you doing? It is the following morning now. I got caught up in a few bits yesterday. So I just put the battery on charge, did a few bits and pieces, and so we're going to see what it's like this morning on cold start. So let's do it. Let's see if it makes a bit of a difference. I am going to take this microphone off because it distorts the hell out of the engine noise. Okay, so the bike seems to be running as normal, or a bit better actually, on cold start, but there's no two ways about it. The carb needs setting up properly. It's chucking out a little bit of smoke and it's idling a little bit funny when it's hot. But what we'll do is, hopefully in the next video I'll be able to research it a bit better this week, and we'll be able to try and get the carb set up. I'm not sure if I'm going to need any additional tools for that. I think I need perhaps a manometer, I believe, for the airflow, but I will speak to some of my guys that are in the know. Hopefully you like this video. I know I'm not Steven Spielberg, but I will improve and I will get better. So if you do want to see anything else, click the subscribe button below. It's absolutely free. You just need your account. Like the video. That will tell me that actually people do like it, and put a comment on it. Criticism, absolutely brilliant. Every day is a school day for me. This is new to me, but unfortunately I have to go and work an afternoon shift on an ambulance this afternoon. So happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all have a good day and a good rest of your week, and I will speak to you soon. Ciao.